like to welcome you to the Richmond Township Board of Trustees meeting. It is Wednesday, January 8th. Would everyone please stand and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sure. Christos.
Here.
Nicola Fontaine here. Cindy Freedom.
Here.
Bob Zolka.
Here.
Vern Coleman.
Here.
Next, we have presentation of the agenda. Today, in an email, we did receive a proposed audit contract from our audit firm. I wondered if you wanted to add that to the agenda tonight. I was just going to ask here, that we have any proper procedure, and I'm wondering, did you want to discuss that tonight, or do you want to wait until next month?
Don't think very much to discuss it.
Okay, so let's have that under new business. It will be item 13E, auditor's contract. And just as a matter of updating item number 13B, approval of Parks and Recreation Master Plan, and then it should say an adoption of resolution 2020-01. Does anyone else have any changes that they'd like to make to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda will stand as amended. Next item we have under public comment. We're going to hold the Community Development Block Grant meeting public hearing. I will call the meeting to order. It is 7:02. Does anyone see anything on the agenda I've forgotten? Okay, we'll move along to block grant funds allotted for 2020-2021. And I'm going to have Jeff White address that, as he is the person that generally goes to those meetings for us.
Honorable Supervisor and members of the board, I just wanted to real briefly tonight mention that Richmond Township this year received $2,652, I believe was the number, in community development block grant funds. These funds can primarily be used for service-related items. At the last meeting, I had mentioned that the county talked about a $1,500 cap on the amount of application for those funds. There was some misunderstanding that the township would have to allocate funds in $1,500 blocks to various service organizations. That is inaccurate. The nonprofits and other service organizations will have to make application to the county in $1,500 blocks. I sent you an email on this, but if you haven't, you can see your email. So basically what that means is you can allocate to a service organization $500, and as long as they go get 2 other contributions of $500, they will be fine when they move forward to the county. So you don't have to worry about that $1,500, if you want to call it, minimum allocation. You can allocate to any of the organizations in any amount that the township chooses. Should the township decide to allocate any amount of funds to its own senior program, they would need to allocate $1,500 to that, and then the remaining to other service organizations if they chose to do that approach. So any application that basically goes forward to the county has to be for $1,500 or more, but as far as the amounts that you can allocate and the way you allocate them, that would be completely up to all of you. The county basically, as a matter of record for everyone, took basically the rest of the funds that used to be available for capital improvement and put them into a program that now involves competitive grants. And so they took all the money, put it in kind of a larger pot, and will let communities, all the communities in the county, can apply to that program for what might be larger projects than what we were used to doing here. The tough side of that for Richmond Township becomes the fact that we don't really have a significant low to moderate income block here in the community that we can identify and say, in this area we'd like to do a sidewalk, a part of a road, things like that, because we don't have enough people living in one designated area that would meet that low to moderate income guideline. So applying under that grant system, I don't want to say anything's impossible. In future years, maybe we'll have a little more time to look at that, see if there's a way we can find a use. But this year, we found this out about 90 days ago, and there simply wasn't enough time to look at a larger project that we might apply for to that the competitive county grant. And then, like I say, if you apply for it, you're not guaranteed to get it. It's competitive. They'll make those decisions, at the county level. So with that, let's start our questions. I'll let those that might be here to speak at the public hearing come forward.
Madam Chairperson, I do have one question. So if we were to allocate $500 to an organization, and they don't come up with the other 1,000 to go to the county, we don't get that money.
That's a great question. Thank you, Mr. Loveday. You do not get a second bite of the apple, if you will. So if an organization doesn't make it to 1,500, after they've gone around all the communities in the county, you basically forfeit that money back into the program. So you just want to make sure that maybe a question that you would ask those that would present at your public hearing would be, have they been other places, have they received funding, do they feel like they'll have a good opportunity to?
Where does that money go if it doesn't get to that program?
I don't have an exact answer for that. I assume it's going to go back into this competitive grant program, or one of the other programs down at the Macomb County Community Action, which is the group that now oversees those dollars. Those dollars previously had been overseen by Planning and Economic Development. One of the guys that have been involved in that, we're fortunate enough to have here as our planner for years, but now it's in a different department.
Thank you.
Any other questions for John? Hearing none, a motion would be in order to open the public hearing for the CDBG funds.
Motion. Support.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is open. At this time, anyone that would wish to approach the podium and request funding may do so. And if you would please state your name and organization you're with.
My name is Stephanie. I'm with Fair House. Our services are focused on child victims of sexual abuse, physical abuse, or children who have witnessed and actual violence, as well as their non-offending family members. Our goal is to minimize trauma for children, child victim of abuse, and to help the child victim and non-offending family members through the investigation and prosecution phase. Provide and support to begin the healing process. Fair House is one of 34 accredited child advocacy centers in Michigan, serving over 53 counties and one of over 800 in the United States. We collaborate with law enforcement in Macomb County, as well as the FBI, Homeland Security, and Immigration and Customs. We also collaborate with Children's Protective Services, the prosecutors of Macomb County, medical and mental health professionals, as well as other agencies within that case. I have some updates on the statistics for Richmond Township families that we have started last year. But first, I'd like to share a story about Abby. Abby was 4 years old. Abby's mom, Renee, was raising Abby alone, struggling financially. Finding affordable housing was very hard, and Abby's mom was afraid they might become homeless. One day, Steve, an old friend of family friend, invited them to move in with him. He had a large home with plenty of space, so they moved in. Things really seemed to be looking up for Abby and Renee. Renee got a new job as a waitress and even signed up for an online college course. She and Abby also started attending services at the church where Steve was a deacon. One night, when Renee went to work, Steve was always available and happy to watch Abby. One day, Renee's computer died and she went to use Steve's computer to complete her assignment. Renee discovered videos and photos on his computer that showed that Steve had been going into Abby's room at night. There were photos of Abby without her PJs on, both asleep and awake, and videos of Steve sexually abusing her. Later, Renee learned that he also sold the photos and videos online for anyone to watch. I know how difficult it can be to hear these stories. What made Care House, we hear dozens of stories like Abby's. The truth is that at least 1 in 10 children will become victims of sexual abuse before they turn 18. More kids suffer from sexual abuse than from autism and asthma combined. That means that almost 3 kids in every classroom in Michigan, over 20,000 of all of children in Richmond County today are living with the trauma of sexual abuse. These numbers are surely much higher than our best estimates because most children never tell. These stories are familiar to children of every race, gender, and economic status. These children could be your kids, your neighbors, and your kids' friends. One could even be you or me. Over 90% of child victims know their abuser. Those who molest children look and act just like everyone. Abusers can be neighbors, friends, coaches, teachers, parents, or family members. It can be adults or children. It can be men or women. Kids like Abby come to Care House from every community in Macomb County and were spared the trauma of multiple interviews. After the forensic interview, Care House also provides follow-up support services for the child victims and their parents, intervening to promote healing and helping families to cope with the emotional stress and trauma that is caused by not only the acts of the abuse, but also the investigation process. Our services include crisis counseling, child safety assessments, access to forensic medical exams, support groups with parenting and the children, trauma-focused therapy sessions, family advocacy, and members out in the community. Families are never charged for the services they receive at Care House, and we provide all services referred children and their non-offending family members. I am also proud to report that according to our most recent independent audit, 86 cents of every dollar that comes to Care House is specifically devoted to serving children and their families in our community. Since our opening in 1996, we have conducted over 7,900 interviews, and 21 of those children resided in Richmond Township. In 2018, we provided 753 interviews, and 4 of those children resided in Richmond Township. And in 2019, we had 758 interviews, and 2 of those children residing in Richmond Township. We received $1,200 in CDBG funding from Richmond Township for 2019 to 2020, which helps support services for 2 families. We depend on support from the community to provide a voice for child victims and a safe place for them to be heard. We are very grateful to have Richmond Township as an invested partner. We respectfully request your consideration for funding this year in the amount of $600, which will support service for 1 Richmond Township child victim and their family. We also have a website. It is mccarehouse.org, and we have a Facebook page as well. Thank you for your time and consideration. Is there any questions for anyone?
Any questions? I know one that was brought up during when Mr. White was up here. If you didn't get the entire amount of money from us for the $1,500, are you relatively certain you could come up with that from other communities? Have you had, I guess, have you had good support from other communities through Block Grant funding?
Yeah, we
Okay.
do go to a lot of them. I don't know specifically like who, if it was our.
That's okay. I just was wondering, as a general feeling, if you thought you would be able to get $1,500 if we didn't get the full amount. And I was going to ask you, and you answered it shortly thereafter, what is the average cost? And so you said $600. What about the average cost? Okay. No more questions? Thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? This is regarding Block Grant monies?
No, this is regarding cable service.
Okay, so right now we're doing the Block Grant public hearing, and
Oh.
we'll take your comments in just a few
I'm
moments.
sorry, your agenda was a bit obscure. I thought we were in the public comment area.
We are under public comment.
Oh.
We have 2 items, and then we'll have comments. Okay,
Sorry,
sir?
thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And you 2 ladies are together?
Yes.
Okay, at this time then, I'm going to have a motion to close the actual public hearing of Block Grant funding at, is it 7:14?
Move to close the hearing of Block Grant funding at 7:15.
Is there support?
I'll support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. On the agenda, we have board discussion on uses of CDBG funds. I will start with you, Chris. If you have any ideas or anything you'd like to discuss at this time. $2,652.
That's all.
Jeff had made a comment, we could give some money to the senior citizens. What would that be used for? Just to pay for?
Just would go towards the
Just
general,
for,
yeah.
anything? It doesn't have to specifically be for a program.
No, so some years, depending on the amounts of requests that we receive from the nonprofits and other service organizations that come in, we have chosen to either use all of our money for those, or we've set aside a portion for, for our senior program. Basically, the senior program, I think last year operated without a budget from about $13,500. So it's not really expensive. And so if you were to set aside, for instance, $1,500 for the seniors and provide the rest of the care house folks, just as an example. When we do budget, when we have budget hearings and meetings on that, we might set aside $12,000 in general fund and then use the other $1,500 to make up the difference. So it would arguably save some general fund dollars, although a very small amount. I'm always cautious about that because when you have that small amount of money, and sometimes the paperwork involved isn't always worth the amount of money to get back, frankly. So I'll leave that decision to the board, but certainly we go to fund the senior program, nothing specific.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we will adjourn the CDBG public hearing at this time. Next, we have the public hearing on the updated Parks and Recreation Master Plan. I would call that public meeting to order at 7:17. Any items anyone sees on here that need to be added? I know further down when we discuss approving this, we need to add the resolution. Mr. Cassidy, you are here. I'm going to ask if you would just maybe perhaps address the Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Parks and Recreation Plan is a required document from the state of Michigan for any community that wants to apply for recreational grants through the DNR, such as the passport grants, land water conservation fund, the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund grant. And there's a dictated procedure, guide, book, and everything that says exactly what needs to go into that master plan. Such things as, and I followed exactly in your table of contents what is required. The community description, for example, administrative structure, inventories of resources, inventories of your parks and rec activities, an analysis of those, your public input process, and goals and objectives, and the action strategies, which are all required documents. It has to be submitted to the township or to the state by the end of this month in order that you may qualify to apply for funding this coming year. The April 1st cycle or the October 1st cycle. The document itself was dictated by, a lot of the information was dictated by input from the Planning Commission, and then dictated by input from you, from meetings I've been here before, and most importantly from the citizenry, who provided feedback in terms of 75 comments and surveys were submitted, which was quite high, to be honest with you, compared to most communities, especially communities this size. The part of the application that's probably most important to you is the action plan. And the action plan sets up a 5-year plan. It can be adopted, amended at any time. But what the state wants to do if you apply for grants, they want to see that your application is somewhat consistent with what your master action plan says. So based on input, I've included several different projects over the next 5 years. One is to acquire additional property for use as a township park, not specifying where it is, but hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. Once we get that property, we're going to be looking at how we would like that developed, and possibly hire a landscape architect or somebody to develop a plan for the development of the park. So we're not spending useless money or meaningless money by doing something and then having to read it eventually down the road. One of the things that the residents wanted were such things as picnic pavilions and walking trails and exercise equipment and playground apparatus, and that's shown in here. So as park improvements that can be made after the park land is acquired, or maybe some additional park improvements here. Then we also talked about briefly is in the plan itself having a goal and an action to improve the recreation center, the senior center, and possibly offer additional programs there. And then lastly, the one that we had talked about was to eventually look and work with the county in terms of expanding their trail network to come through the township and down the Memphis Ridge Road here. These are all wishes. They're not cast in stone, but they provide us the basis of applying for a grant.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to hear a motion to open the public hearing on the proposed Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Support.
It's 7:21. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'd like to open the floor. Does anyone here have any comments on the proposed Richmond Township Parks and Recreation Master Plan? Okay, it looks like there's going to be no public comment. I will hear then a motion to close the public hearing at 7:22.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Does the board have any discussion on this at all?
Very good order.
Yeah.
I think that the planning commission's done an excellent job along with Steve and preparing this plan for our review. We've looked at this and said, I think this is a step in the right direction, so we're looking at to go toward obtaining some funding for the state.
Yep.
The other comments that came up last night on the report was if you look at the projected growth of the township, it wasn't as much as I would expect it to be over the next 20 years. And also the age, we're actually getting older, not younger, which is fairly common throughout the state, I mean, but that's one thing I noticed there. And I think it also said in there, for the amount of people we have, we should have roughly, 30-some acres. 34 acres, they kind of do it by population and stuff like that. It gives us an idea there. But, I think it was well done. And we did have a good response from the people through the survey. You know, that's why I thought there might be some people who were nice because of that, we did have a positive response.
I did also want to thank the planning commission. They scheduled their meeting Monday, so we'll go ahead and vote on making the recommendation to the board whether or not they approve this. Thank you to Steve as well, and I agree with both of you and you, Kathy, that seem to be very well done, super easy to read. There's one's great. Another community that's much larger than this and has about 45,000 people, they had 200 responses. So when you think proportionally what we had, I was super impressed with that. I think that that's really neat. So if there's no further discussion, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the public hearing at 7:24. Okay, now, the public comment right now is meant for just agenda items. So we will get down to public comment at the end, and then you did have a comment on the table, but at the end, and I'll let you know. Okay, sir? Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment on just agenda items from anyone? All right, hearing none, we are going to move along to the approval of minutes of the December 11, 2019 regular board meeting. A motion to approve.
Move to approve the minutes from the December 11, 2019 board meeting.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have the building department report, the EMS report we received in the email, office manager report, planning commission report, and NEMC minutes are on the table tonight. A motion would be in order to approve the consent agenda as proposed, or if amended, just remove that and we'll add that to new business.
Make the motion that we approve the consent agenda as proposed.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. All right, next we have the financial reports. Clerk LaFontaine has given us a list of bills. Does anyone have any questions for her on this list? Okay, hearing no question, motion is in order to approve and pay the bills as presented.
Move to approve and pay the bills as presented for this month.
Is there support?
Support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next, we have the treasurer's report, treasurer's office.
Okay, for the month of January, in our treasurer's report, we have in the general fund, fire fund, $552,309.49. The tax account had $948,413.03. The other PNC accounts, being the recreation fund, EMS, senior and payroll, at $36,599.19. Our investment accounts at $383,108.42. And the purchase and development rights account, $14,787.72 for a grand total of $1,935,217.85. We have a standard fiscal year revenue report for the month of December, and also the investment accounts and the funds that were generated in the month for those accounts. That's about it.
Any questions for Treasurer Zolka? All right, hearing none, the treasurer's report will stand as presented. Next item we have is to approve the Richmond Community Schools 2020 tax collection. Would you like to address that?
Okay, so the first item on that tax collection is the Richmond Community Schools 2020 tax collection. I must say that they're supposed to give me the request by the end of December. I hadn't received it as of last week, so I had to email the town, the school district, and I finally got something from them and email yesterday, it was January 6th, from the school district, indicating that they passed the resolution back in November, but they hadn't forwarded it to us until yesterday. So they're asking that the summer taxes, 100% be collected by us on a summer tax level. So, maintain a motion to do that at this time.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next item we have is the collection of the Armada area schools summer tax levy.
Armada Schools sent us the letter on December 18th, 2019, asking that we collect one half of their millage in the summer of 2020, and the rest of it half will be collected in the winter tax bill. So I ask that the board approve that request, collect Armada's half in the summer and half in the winter.
Is there a motion to approve the collection of the Armada area schools summer tax levy?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. We are now at farmland preservation. Bert?
Yes, as you're well aware that we had an application going into the state because they have a cycle going on this year. That application went in the 23rd of November. Was done by the Planning and Economic Development Macomb County. Jeff Schroeder was the primary person working on that. That application ended up being over 300-page application. So,
Is that for both? or-
yeah,
Okay.
for all of the two applications. So, I mean, the county put a lot of work into this and really stepped up and helped us a lot. Also, we'd like to thank Chris Greco here at the office. Several times Jeff had to call and needed information here or there. She was able to find it and send it on. Also to Kathy for helping us get in touch with our assessor at the last minute about some things we needed on that report. And so I want to publicly thank them too from our office for helping out with that. The grants will be scored, all the ones coming in from the state will be scored by the state, and at their next meeting, which will either be in February or March, they'll go over them and discuss, what there might be some insignificant or some other criteria that they want to put into these applications. And I believe at that time they will then award those grants out. That's my understanding now. That's not that extra stone either. But I also want to report that Kenny Cook, our chairman, put a lot of work into this too, and he went around and we needed matching funds. So some of that matching fund is coming from the landowners for what is donated a portion of them. But then we did have some come in like we did here, $1,000. We ended up, we got $4,000 from the township, we got $4,000 from the county. We got $2,000 pledged from Farm Bureau, and we're going to take $4,000 out of the DDR committee money to help finalize this. So, it's not a lot of money to these people, but they are showing some interest and some commitment to it. So that's all I have at this point.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Any questions for Bernie? Do you know, Bernie, perhaps how many applications that?
No, I don't. I haven't heard, so that's something I don't know if Ken is. I talked to him today, he did not say if he had any indication on it.
Should your committee have a meeting sometime in February?
I believe that it's tail end of January this month.
So do they notify the PR committee, or do they notify the county? How does that go?
They will, well, in fact, it's the meeting they have will be an open meeting, so we can go there. I mean, Ken is on board, so he'll be there. And he's trying to get some other members. He wanted me to go, but being on that, and I don't know if I should be there. So this is the people.
Bring everyone, yeah.
So, but, because last time they, when we got the money last time, I went with, Mr. Robertson from the planning and development. In fact, I think, Steve, you were the head of that at that time, when we received our last time.
So now Mr. Schroeder will this time?
He might. Being that he's the one who filled out the application a lot of times, he,
The big application.
yeah, oh, yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions for Bernie at all? All right, hearing none, we are going to move on to then the building report.
So far, it's been easier than usual winter. We'll knock on wood, as regards any plowing or consulting needs. The only other thing I'll mention, kind of under building, that tomorrow, the EMS and the Red Cross will be using this room that we're sitting in from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. for one of our 2 annual blood drives we have here in the community. Setup will start about noon time, and we'll be cleaning up about 9 o'clock tomorrow. So that's all I have to report.
Okay. Any questions for Jeff? All right, we're going to move on to the assessor's report. Does anyone have anything they'd like me to talk to Chris or me? Hearing none, I would just like to put a thought out there, maybe we can talk about this and talk about it later. Amongst ourselves, if we want to maybe do something for Chris, she'll be leaving in March. Okay. We are now to unfinished business, and we are on the update of the goals and objectives. There were a couple of things to update. I don't know that, obviously the personnel policies were updated on that. Vern and I will get together and talk about getting someone part-time with me and different way to go about it. At the December meeting, we did talk about possibly coming up with some ideas for a memorial. I don't know if the holidays, if anybody got anything to Chris at all. So I'm thinking this month perhaps we can come up with something, find some tractor ideas. So I don't think that we had a lot else. The RFPs we're going to discuss for recodification. We had a public hearing on the master plan, Parks and Rec master plan. So we are moving along. Does anyone have any questions on the goals and objectives? Okay. Again, I just submitted a couple of articles on the medical marijuana, and I will tell you that I usually just put in there and I look through and I see what they have, and the medical marijuana articles are now really diminished compared to the recreational ones. You know, I found out all kinds of things about how recreational marijuana had, sold like $3 million in product in the first few months, and so, but I will continue to look and see if there's any updates, and yes, Sharon will send us some on occasion. Next item we have is the discussion of the cable user fees. Chris did receive some information earlier, was it today or yesterday? Can I see that?
That's actually earlier today.
So I'm going to turn this over to Chris at this time.
Okay. At the meeting last month, we discussed how the NEMC board was looking to increase the fees to what they do pay for subscribers. Leaving type fees out of the discussion, so that's a kind of different discussion. They were going to increase our subscriber numbers because the old numbers that they were billing for were from 20 plus years ago when we have not had any more subscribers in the community. So the discussion was, how do we get the new numbers? Comcast outright refuses to share those subscriber numbers with us, or with the NEMC board to accurately bill us for the subscribers. So we had gone back and forth, and Bill Rubinette over at Castle Township had kind of backed into the numbers and had an estimate number. And we had discussed last month that we didn't feel that was really accurate enough to accept as a billing for. And I know our auditor didn't like that idea either. So we had proposed a percentage across the board for the subscriber fees. I took that back after the last meeting to the NEMC board, and this is what they came back with. They decided they're going to bill us with these new numbers I have in front of you. The first sheet, you can see at the top about the very box of the current numbers, 294, and the new numbers, 421. Where these numbers came from, evidently, I think either from Bill or Comcast. I haven't got a direct answer on where these came from, but these numbers were established in 2017. 421 subscribers in the community. So when I proposed the percentage increase to the board, Joe, the treasurer, said that they're going to bill for 421. These numbers they got in 2017 at 50 cents per subscriber. And I asked to get something solid with that 421 number from Comcast, and this is the best that they could provide, which, as you can see, it does not have, say, a Comcast letterhead. I don't see emails from Shannon that went on there, or anybody that was dealing with Comcast. So I guess we just are looking for the board's feelings on, do we accept this 421 that they're doing from NEMC, or do we explore other options, proposals? Not sure how everybody feels about it. I don't think there's anything balanced here at all. I think everything's accurate, roughly. It's not a Comcast statement. I know that's what we're looking for.
So I think at this point, before we get into this discussion, I'm just going to ask someone to make a motion to open discussion on, user fees to NEMC.
I'll make a motion to open the discussion on the user fees to NEMC.
Is there support?
I'll support that.
So I think Chris has brought us up to speed. And again, the couple of meetings I went to, I feel like these numbers may have come from something that Supervisor Brunette figured based on he did have some numbers, what the average user fee was and what the communities were paying in franchise fees, so many user fees make the total and then a percentage amount, and then you divide that and get the users. I think you could backtrack it and get pretty close to these numbers. I guess the question that we have as a board is, I think we all agree that NEMC should be getting more money. They've been getting the same amount of money for, 20 years. They're going to bill us based on numbers that we don't have from cable, but we do have from a type of formula. Do we feel secure enough going ahead and paying those? If we don't want to do that, if we don't pay the bill, then do we need to get a letter from our auditor and or our attorney stating why we're not going to? So I'm throwing those questions out there. I'm going to start with you and kind of get your feeling on that.
So right now, they're asking us to pay $2,500. I look at that, right?
25, 26.
25, 26.
Yep. And that's at the 50-cent rate, and they have the 68-cent rate.
Yes.
Because isn't the other 18 cents like the pay fees or something?
I believe so. I highlighted a paragraph in the minutes that are also in front of you too, but it did say that they do plan on just charging the 50 cents per subscriber. So yes, it would be the 25, 26.
So that's actually less than if we did a percentage.
It is less.
And if we trust the committee, which Chris is a part of,
Yep.
and I think the committee's run pretty good in that, right?
It is, and I don't suspect anything going on there. And I understand the frustration. We can't get the answers from Comcast, but once we work for it, I don't know why there is a difference. It is. And
If we trust the committee, we're part of that committee, and we trust Bill, who's kind of the chairman,
Right.
put our faith in him, I'm willing to go with his figures.
With the 421 user.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it doesn't look like we're going to get any satisfaction. Look, after a while, we're going to get some great.
Well, we're going to spend money getting an attorney's opinion, and I don't
know if it's going to get, that's my opinion.
Yep, that's what I mean. Huh?
Look at the second sheet. Where's the second sheet? Back sheet.
I included that. I'm not exactly sure who wrote these up and where this came from. I included that 'cause that's part of what I received. I can understand
Excuse me, the last sheet is Casco's, what their numbers and what they paid the month of the, that's on there, I believe it was November. He was just showing how, like a breakdown of how it comes in, and then the sheet prior to that was how he broke it down. So that last sheet is just strictly like a copy of his check and how they received that.
For Casco specifically.
For Casco specifically, yes. Right, no, it has nothing to do with that. It was just so he showed that it was clear, like, he wasn't, that was his numbers, and that's how he showed that, he wasn't making it up. That was his focus.
I'd like to ask Chris, since you're on the committee, the numbers that are here for the current subscribers, was anybody else other than Casco supervisor involved in finding out those numbers?
Joe had also made many calls to Comcast and their attorneys, but also, her and Bill were working with them trying to get the same subscriber numbers. So we did.
But I guess, what I'm trying to understand is, how did they come up with the numbers? Did they have some type of documentation that they analyzed? Because here it looks like, if I'm reading this wrong, Memphis had 294, it said current, and that was when they started at the top?
I think it's 20 years ago, that's.
Okay, and they only increased by 25.
Yep.
And we, 20 years ago, had 294, we increased by 421. So that means that there was 127 households that were added over the 20 years. And I'm not entirely sure that we had 127 households added during that period of time. So that's why I'm only questioning the 421.
Right, and I understand, and that's why that's the feeling I get from this. I wanted to see something from Comcast stating those numbers, that way we knew what they were, rather than estimates or backing in numbers from the checks that are received. Because I think that's what Bill was taking,
Yes.
taking the income that they received, or that the communities received, and then, I'm not sure how, but backing into how many people paid those subscriber fees.
I think what he did was, we get a 5% franchise fee on all of the monies Comcast takes in. You know, they have an average amount they charge for each user. So they're saying we should be able to figure out what the total amount of money they take in is based on our 5%. And then divide that total amount by, they used 58.95 user. My cable bill is not that, I will tell you that. And, but that is how, if my understanding, that is how that Mr. Rumack, am I correct?
Yeah,
That's how Mr. Rumack came to that number.
right.
I mean, I
The average was actually given to him by Comcast, and
yes,
at the meeting, we said, none of ours is that, ours is much higher, but that was the average that Comcast billed.
right. So there was some math basis involved in this. We could follow a trail back to that number, I believe, if, we were going to sit down. I do believe that, Bob. I do believe we could find that number based on that equation for each community. Because I do know that Bill put a lot of time and effort into that.
He did.
I know that he did. And if you look at Casco at 235 versus Casco at 963, they're going to take a big hit. So,
The only thing that's got me on edge with the whole thing is you give this to our auditor, and say this is why we never pay more, because of this document.
well, I guess at that point, we need NEMC to substantiate that. NEMC feels like they can do that.
Right.
I don't know, I mean, I guess they're the ones that are billing us. So if they're billing us and they don't have proof as to why they're billing us, then,
More on that than us.
and I guess that's the call we have to make,
Right.
right? So, do you have any more thoughts on this before I go down this way?
Well, if we're agreeing to this, we're getting a bill, we're gonna pay it. So that tells me that we agreed to this number, so.
Well, we're not ready to, or we don't pay it, but then we have to come up with, we have to, have John give us a reason, or, you know what I'm saying?
The alternative almost would be,
Right.
we pay what we've been paying.
Right.
We research the issue of subscribers. I mean, we're not gonna cut back on what we've been paying.
No, not at all.
Sure. So, I mean, I guess it's an issue that I don't have the time to research. You would think that since we had such a good survey result from our residents, that maybe we can put out a survey to all residents that have Comcast, and we try to determine whether we're being billed correctly, and see if we get a response to it.
It's not fair.
Just put it out there and ask them what their average bill is. We don't have a response.
So comment about that or not.
I mean, I don't want to drop out NEMC. question.
Yeah.
So I guess my thought would be, we continue to review this, we pay what they're billing us with the reservation that if we find out we have less subscribers, we want to revisit this issue. That's what I would think.
The only concern I have there is, I obviously don't know the revenue. I mean, and I will do the equation based on that, I can bring it back, and we can perhaps decide, like you said, we'll just pay what we paid, and then if we find out it's different, we will give them the additional money next time. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with Bob, because what we're at is in a way that they haven't answered what we asked for.
No.
And what we're asking for is basic information.
And to NEMC's
But I agree.
defense, they're not giving it.
No, Comcast will not give us the numbers.
You know, that is the hard part, because we have, as the board, offered something that is concrete.
Right.
I mean, we can base a percentage based on the franchise fees we get. It is a very concrete number, and it's very easy to describe
And it's more money.
and to show, and you'd be getting more money. But for what I understand from that meeting that I went to, you have to bill everyone in the same manner.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to bill everyone either the percentage or everyone the users.
Right,
I
yeah.
know when we were there, Lennox Township seemed to be okay with the percentage. And who else was there that was okay with the percentage? So, but I think maybe this particular part of the issue is an issue to have at your meeting, not here.
Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
going to ask our clerk now for her thoughts on this.
Okay, so went way off the whole rails here.
Okay.
So you're asking my thoughts on
Your thoughts on-
421,
Yeah,
if I'm comfortable with that.
And if you're comfortable with 421, if you feel like we should pay what we've been paying now, research it further, what are your
No,
thoughts?
I think I'm comfortable with the 421. Because I think if we don't pay it and get into researching, we could get into a bigger dip. And Chris, the fine guy on the board, too, or on the commission, keeping us on top of everything. Yeah.
How do you feel?
I don't feel the 421 number's out of line at all, and I'd be comfortable being that, but definitely keeping a close eye on it. I would stop, even myself, trying to get those numbers, stop trying to kind of get a solid number too for contact.
Bob, you didn't think that, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be.
No, no.
You didn't think that we could have accumulated 127 in 20 years?
I don't know where we added cable lines.
Yeah, we haven't had,
Um,
we don't have a lot of access.
So it's the access, and there would be the homes within those areas that we had the access to.
I know there's some residents requesting access and requesting cable lines, the contact is just.
They just can't do it. They can't do
Because
it.
they only do the linear mile and,
I know it's down the school section.
As I
it's
say,
a
that's
back
the
end.
newest one, right?
And that's it,
I
yeah.
think it stops there. I don't know if it's on the ridge or not.
I do believe it is.
I think it is on
I
the
do
bridge.
think it is.
I think it's on the district bridge.
Yeah.
I know it's
I know
on
it's on
the
Mountain
town
Street, I know,
too, so
but
it's
we
on
have
the
it.
pound, weeks, cable,
So
they can,
this seems a little high.
They haven't increased the only,
20 years.
yeah, they haven't increased the access. The only way they would gain is somebody that wasn't on, went on, or their new house.
Correct.
Okay, so are we at a point where I can take a vote on the motion to discuss and then I can make another motion? Everyone done discussing for now? Okay, all those in favor of discussing the issues, say aye. Motion is carried. So from listening to what I'm hearing, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve payment to NEMC for 421 subscribers as recommended, and noting that the supervisor will bring the equation, submit that to the board for their review, and asking our office manager to perhaps reserve it as well, and we can get those responses to the board. So I would entertain the motion.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll support it.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, let's take a roll call vote.
Sure. DeVos.
Aye.
LaFontaine, aye. Greenya.
Aye.
Zolka.
Nay.
Coleman.
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. So I will be working on the equation, double checking it to make sure with them following, and I think I understand, but I just want to be sure
Right.
before I submit it to my board members.
Yeah, no, that's fine,
And then I
you
will
know.
ask Chris tomorrow morning, and she can go ahead and reserve it. Okay. We are now at new business. So, first item on new business is approve the 2020 CDBG funding. A motion is in order to approve expenditure of the CDBG funding. Is there support?
Support.
I'm going to just open up by saying, just me personally, I'm in favor of, we have one person here that has requested money for me. I would be in favor of just giving our whole allotment to them, the $2,652. That way we know they would get their $1,500, they would be covered. They have treated 6 of our children in the last 2 years. So that is just my thought on it. I would start with you, Chris, and to get your thoughts.
I tend to agree with you. I think we should use a whole lot of it to Fair House. I appreciate what they do, and especially helping children in our community and that those numbers, and I'm comfortable with it.
I agree.
Well, only on the basis of Jeff's thoughts that maybe the paperwork is more time consuming than what it's worth.
I always think of all the same ones. We could handle the senior citizens without our own.
All right, so we'll just vote on the motion to discuss the expenditure. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then we'll have a motion in order to spend the 2020 CDBG funds with the entire $2,652 going to Care House. Can I get that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Any further discussion at all? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Okay, ladies, thanks for coming tonight. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Next item, we have approval of the Parks and Recreation Plan. A motion would be in order to approve the Richmond Township Parks and Recreation Plan for the years 2020 to 2024 as presented.
Move to approve the Richmond Township Parks and Recreation Master Plan for the 2020-2024 as presented.
Is there support? Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you again, Planning Commission. Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the bid for recodification. And I had made a recommendation, so we will start with a motion to approve awarding tax and planning the proposal to do the recodification on a regular board basis.
I'll support.
So we've done quite a bit of work on this. We did have 4 proposals that came in. Capital Planning had asked for one. I had not sent them the original RFP at first. I did go through and make a spreadsheet, which I thought I had sent Lori. Obviously not. I will send it to all of you tomorrow. What I did was I went through the RFP and I just made a spreadsheet of did each company that submitted a bid answer these requests. So I did have some questions for General Code, I had some questions for Unicode, and I had some questions for Castle Planning. After I got through that, it looked like Castle Planning, they're not a big company, so they're not going to be able to offer us the same things as far as all the bells and whistles that a Unicode or a General Code could. So I asked Sherry, our attorney, I asked her how she felt about that. And I do believe that I did forward to everyone her opinion. And, you know, basically she said for what we are looking for, we want to get our code ordinances to comply with all of the current laws that exist. We want to delete any of the ordinances that have been repealed. We want to add any of the new ordinances in, and we want to make our ordinance searchable and online. So he does meet all of those requirements. I feel personally that, you know, he's updated our zoning ordinance, and we just approved our personal master plan. I feel like he's very easy to work with. He's super easy to get a hold of, and in my opinion, he's done a very good job. He's close by, we know. So, based on that, I'm going to go ahead and start with Bert and get your opinion on this.
No, after reading your information you had sent, I thought that's the way we should go. I agree. I think Steve has done an outstanding job with this planning commission and what he's done with the reorganizing the ordinance. Ready. I think he's got a lot of work done already. He truthfully does. Just an opinion on it. So I'm very much in favor of it.
Bob?
Everybody knows that I'm the one that asks the questions on the board, so I'm going to ask some questions. I guess my first question is to Steve, because I'm certainly very happy with all the work that you've done as a planner. So, have you done recodification for anybody else other than this proposal?
I'm currently undertaking one right now for Castle Township, and we codified the zoning ordinance for probably 7 or 8 other communities or record.
And on those, did you also get involved in putting them online and updating them online?
The Clinton Township are ones I could go off their website and place all the ordinances on.
And was that while you were working by yourself, or were there others working for you?
I had 3 people on my staff, but it was mostly me.
The project, as I see it, will involve updating the website for online use by individuals. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And that's something that you feel comfortable with under the status of your organization right now, and that you don't have anybody else working with you. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, you hear the last part?
I'm sorry, you don't have anybody working for you in the cast the plan?
I have graphics people that are contracted with me, but I do not have anybody as a W-2 employee. That's correct. So that would be me.
Who will be doing the updating on the website?
That would be me.
And that's, under the terms of the proposal, you do it as we go along each year, whatever updating of the ordinances.
Absolutely.
And the only question I have after Sharon gave us the information, she asked if how much of any future support will you provide, at least in the short term, on the ordinance after you recodify? And that's going to be continuing, I guess.
I expect it to be continued with the problem.
And what about the issue that Sharon posed about insurance for any case of an error that may impact the township?
You said I hear that?
It says, she asked if there's any kind of insurance, if there was an error that would impact the township.
I can provide you a copy of my reservations insurance.
I don't think I have any other questions for Steve, but I do have a question for the supervisor. You work in Elgin Building Code, and in Chesterfield, they have general code. On either of those, have you had any experience with those companies and how they supported their qualifications?
they had hired the company, the RFP hired the company. The company gets your ordinances. They look them over. They will then send back to the community that code that you sent them, and the parts that need to be repealed, they will put a strike through. The parts that are new laws, they will put a footnote, and underneath they'll put recommend replacing this based on new law enacted, what do you wish to do? So then you answer that. You basically go over, someone will have to go over all of that and make sure that any of the changes, the new laws are no-brainers. You know, if there's a new law that has to be in place, you have to answer yes to that. You know. And if there's things that have been deleted, obviously, we know what those are. As far as support, the support would come that I can call them at any time. General Code and Municipal Code are both very accessible. They would help work with the attorneys. We have Chris Anderson in Chesterfield, and I had Mr. Downing in Algonac. Both companies were willing to call them and work with them. A couple of times we've had a teleconference where we might have the attorney and the clerk, and then the company would be, you know, on the other end of the line there in New York, I think Rochester, New York or something, discussing a manner in which we would do these. When you adopt, say whoever we hire, we go through, we make the changes, everything is done, it's updated, we have the public hearing, we place the public notice in the paper, the board adopts it, we are now at a clean, codified ordinance. Everything is like it should be. And the next year, we adopt 2 new ones. So what happens with that is you go back to General Code or Municipal Code, and they are going to charge you $1,200 to put those 2, to recodify them, to put them in your ordinance. I don't believe the way that he has proposed, this is something that he's going to do. Is that correct, Steve? So he would just be putting them, once they're codified, or once they're approved at the end of the year, would put them in a proper place in our ordinance. And they would show it probably as a footnote adopted on a certain day. Did I answer what you were looking for?
Oh, last question. So how much involvement from our legal counsel will be involved in this process?
Typically, I would set each section, with the, community's permission. I'm not going to contact them about your permission, but I would send the sections to them and have them know, outside of this. For example, there's a drug paraphernalia ordinance that in effect in Casco. And I believe, in my opinion, it conflicts with the Michigan medical marijuana ordinance. I don't want to make that decision. I talked to the township supervisor and I consulted with the township attorney on that. So those are the things that, when I feel I'm uncomfortable with making a decision, I would certainly cooperate with the attorney. Plus the fact that once you've reviewed it and it's ready to go to public hearing, I would want the attorney to look at it and make sure everything is prepared correctly to be adopted.
And I feel that in all honesty, we may spend the $3,900, we may spend $1,000 more on attorneys by having to do it. That being said, Sharon is still going to be involved to some degree, no matter what company we hire. My thought on that after I kind of thought it out was that Sharon knows our community as well as anyone that comes to this. She said to me one of the things that frustrates her a lot is that she can't be in court on her tablet and pull up our ordinance. So I know, I feel after talking to her, she would be happy to be involved in that. So.
Yeah, my only comment is I'm surprised that she didn't know Steve Casson.
Right.
She would tell that she didn't know the individual or the company.
No, right.
That was surprising. That's all.
I have nothing but good to say about Steve. I mean, mean, I'm 100% satisfied. I see him work with the public, I see him work with the girls, I see him work constantly. Everything he's produced has been great. And, yeah, I think we're in good hands. Chris?
I'd be comfortable saying Steve, he's done, he's done a great job, he's accessible, he's here, and what else can I say, so I think that's, I'm supportive.
If there's no further discussion, I'm going to go ahead and ask for a vote then to approve Cassie Penny to do the recodification of regulatory ordinances. Can we do a roll call?
Sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was Coleman,
Aye.
Kathy, aye, Bob,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
and Chris.
Aye.
Which is carried. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you to the board again, because this was really important to me, and I really appreciate it. Approve KSI postage to mail assessment notices. The motion is ordered to approve payment in the amount of $751.07 to KSI for postage for the 2020 Richmond Township assessment notices as requested by our assessor.
Motion to approve the requested postage by the assessor, $751.
Sorry. Is there support?
I'll support it.
You have a question?
I do have a question. This is the first time ever this has been put on the agenda, and I'm just curious as to why. That came as a bill. It's always expected. We budgeted in our budget meetings every year.
Why does it need that?
Why does it need approval?
I put this on the agenda because she asked me to.
Chris did? I was really surprised when I seen the bill and I was asking. I thought, oh, is that really nice?
Yeah, she specifically asked me to, if there's a reason for that or not, but I do know that we do approve that, we put that in the budget, so that's all I got. I apologize.
Oh, no,
That's just- that was-
I just wondered why I've never
I
seen
was
it before.
wondering.
I thought maybe something new.
I thought it was just a podcast.
Any further discussion? All of, did you have something? All those in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Motion is carried. We are now, everyone got a copy of the contract, correct? Do you need, I might have another one for you guys. Okay, a motion would be in order to approve the audit contract with Bus and Company for the fiscal years ending June 30th, 2020, 2021, and 2022, with optional years at June 30th, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Is someone going to make that motion? I will make it.
I'll make a motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Earlier today, we received an email from John with his proposed project. I know the clerk had been in contact with him a couple times before, asking him for it, and so he did get it to us today prior to the meeting. It appears, looking this over, that it is, the increase in cost is $500 each year. We'll go up $500 each year. So, $18,000 for June 30, 2020 for the fiscal year ending that date, and an additional $500 each year after that. But first, in that particular paragraph, it states basically as long as nothing crazy goes on. If everything remains pretty much as is, that would be the cost. Chris, what is your feeling on this?
Well, it's their fees, they're increasing, correct? So we really have.
Well, we don't have to hire them again. I mean, we can always go out for RFP if we want.
We could, but, I mean, I've been satisfied with the job that they've been doing in the past. I think we're very comfortable going in the route. The increase, I think, it's something that really is a big deal. A lot of big figures just accepting that and moving forward.
Yeah.
I as well am happy with this.
Do you know what was our fees that we were paying under this contract? Was it 16? About 17?
No, it was 16,517 and then 17,500. This one was 18. It's always been going up 500.
That's what I thought. I'm satisfied with John. As old as during this.
I like to hear that. He likes that,
The
don't
only concern I have, this is just concern, we've always done that. I hope that John doesn't take steps to retire over the course of the next 3 years. So that's just something I want to bring up in case he were to retire. I'm not sure we've ever met anybody.
We worked
You,
with Joe a couple
I'll
years.
let you guys both have.
You had to have, if I have.
Okay, then I talked to him.
He's younger.
Yeah. I
I
talked
think we
He's
all-
younger. If you say younger, so he would be younger.
to him.
Vern?
He's gonna go satisfied.
That's how I feel. They feel. Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. We are now on to items for next agenda. At the next agenda, we will have to make the decision on the limestone, but under the supervisor's update, we'll just discuss that briefly. So, anyone else have any items for the February agenda?
Did we set dates for the budget?
We did.
We set the actual dates.
Yeah. what
March
is it?
7th.
March 7th.
I got the 8th.
The first Saturday.
First Saturday of March.
First and so we just set Monday.
We set them all. I'll send it to you.
Thanks.
Okay.
The only question I had, are we going to discuss, it was on your supervisor, the current time in the agenda, is taking notice road situation?
That is going to be a job for you. I contacted John Crum a couple of times, and I know I have 2 ditch issues that I've been talking to Vern about. So, I'm hoping I can come back to you at the February meeting, let you know where we're at. The goal is to get that, the rest we take care of this. He said we would do that, so anything else?
For the next agenda, next thing of course.
Okay. Vern?
I can't
Okay, well, shoot to or okay, then we are then at call to the board.
I just want to bring to the attention of the board, there is one vet exemption that the board of review granted. And there was some issues on it, and we had to end up, the assessor had to send it up to the county, and the county sent it to state tax commission, and they made a change initially, what the board of review had done. What's happened was, we sent out a refund to the vets who claim exemption. I haven't heard from him, but I just wanted to let the board know, he may be coming in not happy with the fact that he hasn't got the total amount of what he expected to be as a refund. So just so the board's aware of that situation. It was basically according to the provisions that we could refund, how we refund, not how total insurance company charged. Well, his avenue, yeah, no, if he calls and talks to the staff, it would be the state tax commission for that, because it would be the tax. Okay? That's it.
Vern, Kevin? Chris?
Tractor ideas?
Huh?
Tractor ideas?
Yeah, got around with some tractor ideas.
Hopefully have more to discuss.
I think we'll probably, I think that perhaps more time to
Yes.
about that.
Yes, but I'll have them next month, so
Okay,
see what I can dig up for you next month.
great. Under supervisor's update, I just had a very brief update. The one thing I did want to bring up, just so everybody is aware, and Lori was kind enough, I asked her to put the map and all the updates that we have done for the limestone. We did get a notice from the county today saying that our portion of the limestone is going to go up. And I think everybody got so it went up pretty minimally. It's now going to be $23,505. but I did want to make everybody aware of that. Chris, do you have any thoughts on the roads? I know we put the complaints in, and I just so we're all aware to be ready to come and discuss that next month.
Yes, I don't have anything really that, they've actually been in pretty decent shape lately, but the weather's been pretty decent also. I suspect after this weekend, we're going to be getting some serious rains. I'm not right, and I think it's going to decline weather.
And I do want to thank Lori for getting that. I appreciate that. I know that's nice because it's so much easier to see when you have it all there. So. Okay, now?
Only just one thing on the
Okay.
map, not just doing a big deal. When they get caught, they actually went all the way over, get personal all the way over the map. So that's actually done. And then personal road, I think most people are aware of. Boston, Russell, it really doesn't exist.
Right.
There's nothing there. So, but they went all the way around to Mackey.
Thank you.
And I believe Mackey Road was done at one time too. In fact, I'm sure it has, had quite a lot.
We will have to look back to the minutes.
Yeah, it probably could be done again, but it was done at one time. But
That's good though. I mean, I want it to be updated and reflected.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Thank you. All set? Okay, now, sir, you're under general public comment. Thank you for your patience. We really appreciate it.
That's all right, I had nowhere else to go.
Well, we appreciate it.
Good evening.
Hi.
My name is Ralph Tuna. I live in Low Plank in the 75,000 area. I recently attempted to get cable internet and discovered that the only people that supply it is Frontier. I attempted to get information from them, and it was for nothing. I got 0 out of that company. They wouldn't commit to anything. I'm curious to know if there will be any extensions of a more reliable cable service down Low Plank.
Generally, we just do you comment and we don't interact, but if you want to wait until after the meeting, I'd be happy to sit and talk to you. It'll be about 5 minutes.
Great.
Is that right, sir?
Thank you kindly.
Okay. Yep. Okay, is there any other general public comment? All right, hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
These are the most recent.
You think it's better?